Hi guys, PD here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another new video. I want to go through my top UEVR games of 2025. Now I'm still recovering from a really bad cold. I don't want to jump into the games in a VR headset. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do something a bit different, a bit more festive. I'm going to go into my UEVR section on YouTube, and I'm just going to go through the videos, go down the videos and point out any videos that really stand out. These games are in no particular order. These are just like games that I recall, that I remember are really good in my mind. And it's going to be a process of remembering the games just by seeing the thumbnails and remembering which ones I really enjoyed the most. There's going to be no particular order. These are really good games. They deserve to be in a top 20. I will nudge the ones that I think are in the top 3. So when I get to the top 3 UEVR games of 2025, I'll mention them. Straight out the bat, I'm having fun with Routine. This game is very similar to like Alien Isolation. You're on a lunar base, you're being chased by killer robots. There's some horror elements coming up I've still not got to in the game. It's supposed to be really scary. There's no 6-DoF profile for the game. There is a profile that lets you play the game with a gamepad. I'm quite happy to play these games with a gamepad, the way I would play these games on a flat screen. Routine's got the atmosphere, the immersion, the sensations, the look of Alien Isolation. This is one of my top UEVR games of 2025, and I still need to go back in and find the scary parts. I thought the robots were scary. Apparently the game gets a lot more scary. Okay, so let me scroll down. Let me find some more games. Assetto Corsa Rally is in my top UEVR games. It's a fantastic racing game with UEVR. It plays just like a normal VR racing game. Again, there's no real profile for the game. You inject UEVR, jump into the game, and it plays just like Dirt Rally 2. I would say this is one of the better looking UEVR games, and I know quite a few people have been converted to try these types of games now with UEVR. This being a relative new game, you've got the draw distance, you've got the effects. It looks stunning in a VR headset, guys, it really does. Again, another game I played with a gamepad, and it played the same way I would play a game on a flat screen. One of the UEVR games in my top 3 would be Atomic Heart Plus or the DLC. This game has a fantastic profile. It's constantly being updated. We now have full melee combat in the game. So not only can we use our motion controllers to point and shoot, we can use our motion controllers to melee. This game and the profile for this game has everything a normal VR game has. If you like games like Half-Life Alyx, this plays just the same way you would play Half-Life Alyx. It looks like a AAA VR game. You've got 6-DoF, you've got room scale, you've got full motion control support. Keep an eye out for this game in the sales. It's been on sale a few times. I also believe it's been free on the Epic Games Store. The whole game can be played in VR, even the DLC. At the moment, this is the DLC for the game that I'm showing you on screen. Fantastic game with UEVR and in my top 3 games of 2025. If you're new to the channel, let me just take a few minutes to explain why these types of games are so appealing in VR. These are AAA quality flat games that we've converted to play in a VR headset. Think Half-Life Alyx. That's the type of experience we're getting now, especially with modern day Unreal 5 games. Now you guys are watching me play this game on a flat screen. I am physically inside the game world. It's a 3D environment, it's all around me. And if you look around your room right now as you're watching this video, that's what it's like to be inside the games. You're there for real. It's the same principle for VR. Watching these games and people play games on a flat screen is not the same as being inside the 3D engine and having that world wrapped around you. If you're new to UEVR or you sat on the fence, you don't know where to start, I do have a couple of guides on my channel. I've got the UEVR guide 2025 on how to install the program, how to get games working, what to mess around with once you're in the settings. I also have a 2025 UEVR profile guide showing you how to download and import the best profiles for the games. And these profiles are going to give you the best experience to make these games feel like a normal, natural VR experience. G-Rebels is another game that's going to be my top 3 UEVR games for 2025. This game in a VR headset is absolutely fantastic. It's a cross between Air Car, it's based on the old original PlayStation game G-Police. Flying around these cities in a VR headset makes you feel like you're in the movie Blade Runner. It's got racing, it's got exploration, it's got combat. Now, as a result of me covering games like this with UEVR, and also with lots of people on the forums asking for VR support, the developers are adding native VR support for this game on launch. That's fantastic news. So my role to show these developers their game running in a VR headset is obviously paying off. And we need these developers to see these videos so they can see the true direction of the game, making it more realistic, adding more immersion to the game. I get a real kick, a real buzz when developers mention that they're adding VR support when they see videos like this. The brand new Painkiller game is another game in my top 10 UEVR games of 2025. It's fast, it's bloody, it's gory. Again, this is another game with full motion control support, room scale and 6-stop. The profile is fantastic. I just love this game and I can't get enough of this game. And for all the naysayers about UEVR saying it's not true VR, it's bringing new VR games to the table. The VR community are crying out for quality VR games. These developers are watching UEVR videos, seeing just how immersive, how cool the game is in a VR headset, and they are adding native VR support to the games. It's a win-win situation. I also want to give a special mention to the Flat2VR studios for doing exactly what we're doing. They're bringing flat games to VR. Both the new RoboCop games are in my top 10 UEVR games for 2025. They are fantastic, action-packed. We have amazing profiles. Again, we have 6-stop, room scale, full motion control support. There's just something special about feeling like you're RoboCop in a game. You've got the surround sound, you can hear your body clanking, you're actually holding the weapons and shooting, you've got the sound effects from the movie. Both the RoboCop games are experiences with UEVR you do not want to miss. Onto something a little bit different this time. This is Keeper. It's like a third-person action-adventure game and it's got a fantastic and amazing art style. This game feels like it was made for VR. I know a lot of VR purists are adamant that third-person games in VR are not very good. Again, they are wrong, they are mistaken. Look at games like Astrobot, Moss, Max Mustard. Fantastic platforming games. This game in UEVR is no different and it's got an incredible art style to die for. This is one of those standout games that I will remember for a long time. The closest native game that we've got to this game is The Midnight Walk. That game has just won an award for the best VR game. This game in UEVR has a very similar art style and it plays very similar. And I have to say it again, platforming games in UEVR must never be underestimated. They are fantastic, they really are. Again, you're inside the 3D world. You get to see this amazing creation all around you, just like in real life. They Are Here is a really good example of a horror game, a flat horror game, played in VR with UEVR. If you've played any horror game in VR, you know just how scary these games can be. The atmosphere, the sound effects, the immersion is through the roof. And these types of games give you raw emotions that come across when you're playing them, especially for me in a video. The jump scares are so much more real because you are there for real. Don't forget, your brain is tricked to thinking that you're in a real place. You have to keep telling yourself it's just a game. But your brain perceives this 3D world, this 3D environment, and it's processing all the horror that it can see and feel. Many times I'll show you my arms and I'll show you the hairs on my arms sticking up because it's just raw emotion, it's raw terror. And you don't get that playing these games on a flat screen. So when you see these big YouTubers playing flat horror games, their jump scares are so fake, it's unbelievable. But put those YouTubers in a VR headset, those reactions will then be real. I'm a big fan of aliens, but I do find these types of games, alien abduction, cornfields, in a VR headset, some of the most terrifying gameplay I have ever played. I don't know if it's because I believe in the subject or it's something to do with my psyche, but these games are the most terrifying for me. Aliens in a horror game, especially in VR, they really do give me the willies. All three of the Little Nightmares games play really well with UEVR as well. Again, these are platforming games. There's even a profile for the first game where you can play first person mode. So you get to see the game world from the character's first person. These platform games are really good. It's like having a diorama of the world in front of you, and you get to play in that diorama. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice 2 is fantastic looking in VR with UEVR. Again, another game in my top 10 UEVR games of 2025. The environments look so real, and it's all thanks to the Unreal 5 engine. Games are starting to look so real now in a VR headset, especially with this mod. If you like the look of this game and you want to give it a go, but you don't want to try UEVR, the first game does have native VR support. Go give that a try, and if you like it, then this plays exactly the same. There's so many games now that I played in UEVR, it's really hard to try and pick my favourites. I'm just basing all this on what I remember from the games I played. David Jones is another stunning looking game in VR with UEVR. It's pirate based and it is a first person shooter. And you have to see these worlds in a VR headset to really appreciate them. There's nothing better than seeing your hands in game, and it looks like your real hands doing that in front of you. And if you like your Aliens games, Aliens Fireteam, again, another fantastic game in VR with UEVR. And I learned today it's had a brand new profile. The guy who made the profile has made some major changes to the game. Again, this game's action packed. And if you play games like Alien Isolation, Alien Rogue Incursion, imagine those games but tenfold. Those games are Alien, the first film. This game is Aliens 2, the second film. As always, keep an eye on Steam for a sale for the games. Another profile with room scale, 6DoF and full motion control support. You can guarantee you're going to find something new and refreshing with UEVR when you find new games to play, especially when they bring out new Unreal 4 and 5 games on Steam. This is Signy and is a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. It looks and plays amazing in VR because you've got the depth. You've got that sense of scale. Imagine you're looking into a fish tank. You can see the 3D depth of the fish. Now imagine this game in a fish tank. You're playing the game the same way. You've got 3D depth. You've got alien spaceships floating just under the lip of the fish tank coming towards you. You've got giant alien robots on the ground walking in the fish tank. I am constantly amazed at what I can find with UEVR. It's a constant joy to be able to find these types of games. Games you never think would work in a VR headset, and they work perfectly, and they're guaranteed to leave a lasting impression on your mind. I could never play this game again on a flat screen knowing what I saw in the VR headset. I saw this world in a whole new light, and it's a total game changer. Witchfire is another fantastic first-person roguelite that you can play in a VR headset with UEVR. Again, action-packed, gory, amazing environments, amazing effects, amazing weapons. Again, we've got full motion control support, we've got 6DoF, we've got room scale. It plays just like a normal VR game. Another benefit of playing these games with UEVR is when the game gets an update or new DLC, you get to play that update or DLC in VR as well. This game's got a constant roadmap. The developers are constantly updating the game, making it better, making it more playable. And again, it's another experience you really don't want to miss. It's got hours and hours of gameplay. It's got a really good replayability loop as well. I also believe in VR you get a bit of an advantage because you can look around the world, so you can see any monsters sneaking up on you. Luto is another of those horror games, very similar to Madison. It's also had a brand new profile, and the game is fantastic to play now. And again, the horror is tenfold in a VR headset. This game plays very similar to games like PT. You wander around this house, things are changing, You need to figure out what's changing, you need to find the clues, and it's quite scary in a psychological kind of way. If you like games like Madison VR, another title not to miss. And with UEVR, there's like hundreds more games just like this. We got VR for days, we can't get enough of games in VR now. Games of this pedigree and games of this quality. Terminator Resistance and its DLC is another good example of putting you inside one of your all-time favourite film franchises. And with the Terminator Resistance DLC, you actually get to play the Terminator. You get to see through his eyes, you get to feel the weight of his body, you can hear him stomping around. Seeing one of the Terminators up close and personal, seeing its weight, its form, is one of the most terrifying things you will see in a VR headset. This game is created by the developers who made the brand new RoboCop games on Steam. What can I say about Stellar Blade? It works and runs perfectly in VR with UEVR. This is a good example of a third-person action-adventure game with like a Souls-like theme. The game's had rave reviews, it's won many awards, and we get to experience this amazing game in a VR headset. Again, this is another game I can never go back to playing on a flat screen, because I've already witnessed the best way possible to play this game. I cannot stress enough, watching these games on a flat screen does not justify the sensations and the feelings you get being inside the physical world in a VR headset. Nothing compares, nothing will beat it. As far as I'm concerned, this is the future of gaming. Just looking down this list, I've got full nostalgia for the games I played. I could give you a top 100 UEVR games. That video would last all day. But I'm going to have to try and keep this short. I'm going to leave you with this final game, and this is going to be in my top 3 UEVR games of 2025. It's Returnal. This is one of the few games I finished in VR. I've killed all the bosses. I've got videos of me killing all the bosses. This is another game with a fantastic profile. In fact, there's 2 profiles. You can play the game third person, or you can play the game first person like I'm doing on screen right now. Again, full motion control support, 6-DoF and room scale. This game in VR is like no other. And for me to actually play and complete the full game in a VR headset with UEVR is testament to just how good this mod is. There's hundreds of other games that I could talk about that are in my mind, and I remember just how good they were playing them with UEVR. Too many to mention, and too many for this video. I can tell you I'm really excited for the games we're going to be able to play in 2026. Most of the new game trailers we saw at the Game Awards are Unreal 5 games. Sequels to like Atomic Heart we're going to be able to play in VR with UEVR. Games like the brand new Star Wars Pod Racer is Unreal 5 engine. It's hard for me now to get excited for a native VR game unless it's really good. And I will continue to support and show those games on the channel. At the moment with VR, UEVR is my main passion. I'm getting AAA VR games every day. It's an addiction, I love it, I can't get enough. And my UEVR videos are the most popular videos on the channel. So that tells me that the VR community want these quality type games to be able to play. And the only way you're going to be able to play most of these games is with UEVR. Now's probably a good time to ask Santa for a new PC, especially with the cost of RAM about to go up because of AI. I'm 100% positive I missed some games off this list. These are games that just sprang to mind when I went down the list, and I tried to feature ones of different genres, so they're not just all first-person shooters. I tried to cover all the interesting Unreal 4 and 5 games. If there's any game you think I've not covered or I missed and you want me to try, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. No promises because I'm trying all the brand new Unreal 4 and 5 games. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to hit my little bell and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
I had a glimpse of you, and then you was gone. I searched for you everywhere. Where'd I go wrong? Chasing shadows in the neon light, flickers of hope in the darkest night. Echoes linger in this empty space. Where did you disappear in the digital haze? Lost in the rhythm, but still feel the voice. You were my signal, now I'm just noise. Scrolling through the pages of memories untold. In a world of pixels, your warmth turns cold. Chasing after whispers through the wires and screens. Searching for connection in the gaps between. Lost in the frequency, but searching for the light. You were my beacon, now I'm lost in the night.